In the heart of South Africa, between rolling hills and wide open sky, there was a small village called Kwanomsa. It was a village of laughter, of children running barefoot, of women grinding maize, of men working in the fields. But above the village, on a hill, there lay a place the people feared, the graveyard. The villagers buried their loved ones there, and once the ceremonies ended, no one went back. At night, people avoided the hill. Children whispered stories of spirits walking in the dark. Even grown men would not dare cross it after sunset. The graveyard was silent. Dry grass bent in the wind. Thorn bushes grew wild. The soil looked tired, cracked, lifeless. The villagers often said, "Graves are for the dead, not for the living. Nothing good can come from there." But in that village lived an old woman, Mama Thandiwe. She was known for her soft voice, her bright smile, and her wise sayings. She carried a walking stick carved by her late husband, and wherever she went, people listened. Mama Thandiwe would often sit with the children and tell them stories. She told them, "The earth has many secrets, my children. Where people see sorrow, sometimes God hides blessings." The children laughed, for how could blessings come from a graveyard? One year, trouble came. The rains stopped. The sun grew hotter and hotter. The maize fields turned yellow, then brown. The pumpkin shriveled. The river thinned until only small pools of muddy water remained. Families had little food. Mothers gave the last handful of porridge to crying children. Fathers searched for wild fruits in the bush. Hunger pressed down on the village. Every night prayers rose to heaven, yet still the rains refused to fall. The elders called meetings. Some said, "Let us ask the ancestors." Others said, "We must wait. The rains will come." But waiting did not fill empty stomachs. One morning, as the sun rose over the hill, Mama Thandiwe stood in the center of the village. "Listen to me, my children," she said. "Why do we fear the hill? The ones who rest there loved us. They would not want us to starve. Let us plant where others see only death." The people gasped. One young man, Sibuziso, shook his head. "Mama, that is disrespectful. The graveyard is sacred." A woman cried out, "We cannot disturb our ancestors." But Mama Thandiwe lifted her stick and said, "Do you not remember the words of our fathers? Umlaba uyafila. The earth is alive. Even the earth of graves can give life. We will not dishonor the dead by planting. No, we will honor them, for they too fed us in life." Her words sank deep into the hearts of the people. Hunger has a strong voice, and soon a few villagers whispered, "Let us try." On the next morning, Mama Thandiwe carried a small basket of pumpkin seeds. She walked slowly but firmly up the hill to the graveyard. The villagers followed, some with curiosity, others with fear. Together, they cleared the thorn bushes. The men took hoes and broke the hard ground. The women carried water from the river in clay pots. The children sang as they dropped seeds into the soil. Tumamina, Tumamina, they sang. "Send me, Lord, send me." At first, it was only a few families, but slowly more villagers joined. Even those who doubted found themselves digging, watering, planting. By evening, the graveyard looked different. Where there was once only dry soil, now small mounds lay covered, waiting for life to come. Days passed. The sun still blazed. People looked to the hill each morning, hoping, but the soil remained dry. Some began to doubt. "This will never work," Sibusiso muttered. Then, one early morning, a child named Ayanda ran into the village shouting, "Green! Green! I see green on the hill. Everyone rushed to the graveyard, and there, breaking through the dry soil, were tiny green leaves. The villagers clapped, laughed, and some even cried. Hope filled the air like rain. Day by day, more leaves appeared. Pumpkins spread their wide green arms across the ground. Beans climbed old wooden crosses. Wild spinach sprouted between the graves. The graveyard that was once feared had become a place of life. Perhaps we have angered the spirits, whispered the women. But Mama Thandiwe, sitting under a tree, said gently, life takes time. Do not lose faith. Months passed. The crops flourished. The villagers harvested pumpkins, beans, and greens. Families gathered with baskets, singing as they worked. Children carried pumpkins bigger than their heads, laughing. Mama Thandiwe stood on the hill and smiled. No child will sleep hungry tonight, she said. The villagers no longer feared the hill. They walked there daily, not with fear, but with joy. And as they worked, they remembered their loved ones, not with sorrow, but with gratitude. From that day, the graveyard was no longer just a place of death. It was a garden of life. Mama Thandiwe told the children, "See, my little ones, even from sorrow, joy can grow. Even from graves, gardens can rise. That is the way of life. Death is not the end. It is the seed of something greater." And the story of the hill spread far and wide. Other villages came to see it. They too learned that the places we fear may carry the blessings we need. In Kwanomsa, they no longer called it the graveyard. They called it the Hill of Gardens. And that is the story of when graves became gardens. Thank you for watching, my friends. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can join us again for more tales that inspire the heart.